Hi there, it's Donna from Tappy Crafting, and I just wanted to show you today what I've been playing about with. I've been making some boxes because it is 3D Thursday, and on 3D Thursday I either make a box or a bag. So I was mucking about with this and I'm not happy with it. I don't mind my box. I think the box measurements have come out great. The lid sits on nicely without it buckling, and it's on there, it's properly on there. But I don't like this kind of stamped card, make a box out of it. Other people do it brilliantly. I'm just not happy with that at all. So what I'm going to do is just change this up a little bit. I've got my card to the side of me ready to be cut up to make the same size box. This is a nice 2-inch deep, 4-inch square box and lid. And I'm going to be using the Hello Ladybug. So I stamped these melon mambo flowers on here and then just instantly hated it. But I'm going to be using the Ladybug punch. I'm in love with this punch. I love it. Really used it for the first time this weekend because I'm filming this on a Sunday to go live on Thursday. So I want you to see what I'm going to do with it. So I'm going to do a white box again. And I'm going to make a white lid, but I'm going to decorate it with DSP. And I've got one of the, these are the brights, because I think this is the Daffodil Delight. Yes, this is Daffodil Delight designer series paper. Didn't want to do lines, so I've done the flowers. Did think about the polka dots. I'll go through all of the measurements as we go along. There is also a blog post that goes with this. That's in the description bar below. So if this is the first time you've come across me, maybe I've popped up in your feed and you've never seen me before. My name's Donna and I'm from the UK in rural Wales. And I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator, but I do a lot of YouTube tutorials, and I'm trying to get more consistent and putting out YouTube tutorials on a Thursday and a Friday, one for 3D Thursday and then another one for Funfold Friday, and then anything else then is a bonus, and I'm not committing to too much. Let's get on, shall we? I'm going to put the punch to one side. I'm going to put the stamp set to one side because first we need to get going with our box. I've got 2 sheets of A4 card. This is thick for my main box, and this is the regular thickness for the lid, and I'm going to be decorating the lid with some paper. I'll notice the light's going a bit funny in here. There we are. If I open up the blind, there'll be too much light and you won't be able to see what's going on. So let's start with, I'm going to start with the box, the actual, so this bit. This is how we're going to do this. This will be unlined, but if you wanted to line it, you know, that could be quite nice if you wanted an extra bit of poshness. Let's get my trimmer. So because I want my box to be 4 inches square and 2 inches high, I need a piece of card that is 8 inches square. That then gives me a 4-inch base and then 2 inches either side. I don't know if you can hear the noise, but we are looking after my daughter's dog this weekend. And he's just woken up. He's making a right old racket downstairs. Don't worry, I've not abandoned him. My husband's looking after him. So 8 inches square. And then with the piece of regular thickness card, so this is the basic white card, I want this to be 6 inches square because this is going to be 4 inches wide, but I only want the depth of the box, of the lid, to be 1 inch because I want to be able to see this part of the box. So this is 6 inches square. I know people like to craft along with me, so you can note these measurements down as you go along and make it as you go along. The only thing I worry about when people are crafting along with me is that if I realise I've made an error. So I always think it's worth kind of watching a couple of minutes on and then catching up. Try not to do it little step by step. Because we are human, we do make mistakes from time to time. But I know with that I'm correct. Thick basic white 8 inches by 8 inches, and then the regular basic white 6 inches by 6 inches. Let's deal with the base of the box first, and I'm going to get my scoreboard out, but you could use the trimmer if you wanted to. And let's get my scoring tool. Now, on all 4 sides, trying to get that in shot, on all 4 sides of this, you are going to score at 2 inches. Turn each time. Whoops. So I don't know if you can see those, but you've just got at, I'm trying to think what I'm saying. We've got squares here, and then we've got our 4-inch square in the middle there, but we have just scored at 2 inches on each side. Put that to one side, get your lid out. So that's 6 inches by 6 inches. Now we are going to score at 1 inch on each side, but before I do that, I'm going to move my card that way by a teeny tiny amount, a smidge, a tad, a little bit. It's about a 1/16 of an inch, but you'll see here that the 1/8 of an inch, that would be too much, and the scoreboard doesn't do 1/16 of an inch. So you just need to shift it this much. It's literally a tiny bit. It just stops the card at the lid buckling as it sits on the base. So there it is in the corner, and I'm just going to bring it in literally a teeny tiny amount and score at 1 inch. Some people put bits of card stock, and they fold it in half and they put that in there and they butt that across it. I can't be doing all of that. I've done it once before and I didn't like it. So bring it in a teeny tiny bit, turn it, move it across, score at 1 inch, turn it, move it across, score at 1 inch. Now, if you're doing that on your trimmer, you could put that in the trimmer at 15/16 and then score, okay? As long as it is just slightly, what you want this bit here to be slightly bigger than 4 inches, and it is just slightly. So then it sits on the box without the base of the box just trying to crumple underneath it. If you want to test out that theory, then score that at 1 inch all the way around, then try and get your lid on. It won't fit. And often we learn these things by a process of elimination and by trial and error, don't we? And that's why we rely on people on YouTube to show us how to do those things. Let's stick with this one first before we go back to the base. With each of these score lines, we're going to fold and burnish. So you've got that. And then with your snips or any pair of scissors that you've got, you're going to, so just looking at a square here, you are going to cut up that score line there to the first score line, and then you're going to cut in diagonally into that corner, and you're going to do the same there as well. And then you're going to do the same this side. I don't know why I work from right to left, I just do. We all have our own little ways of doing things. And you're going to do the same again, cut up the score line and then diagonally from that square. And then you'll turn this around and you'll do exactly the same. I'll show you that it doesn't matter which way round you go. And also, there's no right and wrong way of doing this. You may have seen somebody else make a box and think, well, they did that slightly differently. There is, as long as you get the same outcome, it really doesn't matter. That's my theory behind that. was going to say before, if you haven't come across me before, and you like paper crafting, you like tutorials, I always do these. I don't rush them. They can be quite slow. So if you are a beginner crafter or you just don't mind following along step by step, then come and give me a subscribe and come and see what I do. And hopefully you enjoy it. Thank you to everybody that leaves me lovely, lovely comments. It absolutely warms the cockles of my heart. What are cockles of our hearts? I don't know. Anyway, I've got some designer series paper here. You can choose whatever paper you like. You can choose whatever colour card you like. You just go for it. This, I do lots and lots of different boxes. You can scroll through my previous videos and you'll see a box like this pop up every now and again. So this measures 3 7/8 by 3 7/8. And then I've got 4 pieces that measure 3 7/8 by 7/8 of an inch, and they are going to fit on the sides like that. So I'm just going to chat away while I am putting these on. Usually what I would do is then pause my video while I'm making it, and I quickly do it so the video doesn't become too long. But I'm going to chat away. If you don't want to hear my chat, feel free to scroll on. So as an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator, I demonstrate Stampin' Up products, and you can shop with me. There is a link in the description bar to my shop. Come and have a browse, and you can shop with me if you live in the UK, France, Germany, Austria or Holland. Doesn't matter that I'm in the UK and you might be in those other European countries I've just mentioned. Doesn't matter, you can still shop with me. Stampin' Up goods are delivered in Europe from Germany, and in the UK they're taking about a week. I placed an order on Friday, so now when I say on Friday, this is Thursday now, so last Friday. It's really confusing when I'm filming in advance. I'm thinking, what day are they hearing this? You're hearing this on Thursday the 16th. Also as well, myself and my 2 crafty friends who do 3D Thursday with me, we have a crafty sharing group called Craft and Banter. So if you would like to share some of the things that you've made, maybe they're things that you've seen me make before now, come and find us on Craft and Banter. There is a link to that group in the description bar below. Come and click on it, come and join us. And come and share some of the things that you have been making, and definitely mention if you've made something that that you've seen one of us make. Right, I'm going to let that glue dry on there, and I'm going to bring in the base of my box. So this is in thick Whisper White, so I'm going to fold and burnish. You can hear that dog squeaking his toy outside my room, and he's barking. And I'm going to do exactly the same with this as I did with the lid. I'm going to get another pair of scissors, a bigger pair. And we are going to cut up to the first score line, wedge it in a bit. And yeah, that's fine like that. Same on this side. And then finally on this one, and I'll show you now how we glue it all and we get it to stick together. So if you haven't made one of these boxes before, I promise you, once you've made one, you'll make absolutely loads of them. They're great for Christmas, for small gifts, wedding favours. You can make this box any size you like. So that's what we're going to do. Now this is the outside of the box, so that's the inside, that's the outside, and I'm going to put some tear and tape on each of these folds just in front of that, and also at the end. I get through a lot of tear and tape when I am making boxes, lots of it, so just as close to that score line as you can. And there's the beauty of tear and tape, you can just tear it. I'm a little bit embarrassed about my nails here, 2 of which pinged off earlier, and my nail technician is on holiday. You can do this with liquid glue if you want, or with dispenser glue. Just entirely up to you. Glue is a bit of a preference thing. So I'm going to just take this backing strip off of all of these with my take your pick tool. Love this thing. You get accessories that go with it as well. In my shop link there are, if you go to the shop and if you click on the kind of like the menu button, it categorises everything with paper, with tools, with die cutting, with stamps. Really super easy to find things. So you'll find that in the kind of tools and accessories bit. Now with each of these tabs that we have just put glue on, so you take your tab and it's going to go behind this, behind that side. So you fold it in, and that raw edge, you want it to meet that folded edge. So I would probably get my eyes even closer to that, but it's difficult, so I've got a camera in the way. And then just push it down. Same with this one. So there's your tab, fold it behind, and then the raw edge to meet that folded edge. Okay. And then I'm just going to do the same with these. Fold it behind, raw edge meets folded edge. There we go, that all just nicely goes together like that. And then with my bone folder, I'm just going to push all of that down so the adhesive sticks to both sides of that card. And there's the inside of that my box, like that. And then you can fill it with whatever you want. You can get quite a lot in there. I'm thinking of like Ferrero Rocher chocolates. I reckon you could potentially get 9 in there, or you can just put a selection of sweets, you know, or maybe like a makeup box, jewellery box, anything. You can make the box to the size of your gift. Let's put that to one side. I'm going to do the same with this. Now this is dried off, so I'm going to get my tear and tape, and then I'm just going to put that exactly the same. Quickly whiz that all the way around, and then I get to show you these really cute ladybirds. Didn't realise my phone was on. Let's turn that off. Right, last one. So this is a little bit more fiddly because the base of, the lid of my box is not as deep as the base. Let's take all of these off, but we are just going to do exactly the same. And every time I make one of these videos for these boxes, I try and do a different size. Okay, so here we go. There's the tab. behind the back of that side of that lid and press it down. Fold it behind. Raw edge meets folded edge. Press the tab down. You just do that all the way around. I promise you, when I first started making boxes, I thought, oh, I'm never going to get the hang of this. This is so difficult. But actually, once you've mastered them, you just make them all the time. So there's my base. I'd fill that with lovely things, and then on goes my lid. Now, because I moved my measurement when I was doing the 1 inch, what that means is it stops it buckling. So that now fits nicely, and actually that lid is going nowhere. That's a sign of a nice fitting box, and it's not putting too much pressure underneath here. Like that. Okay, so just on its own, that's a nice cute little box. But then we just step it up a little bit and we put these absolutely beautiful ladybirds on there, and I love those ladybirds with the yellow. Absolutely love that. Let me show you how easy it is to do that. Need a bit of red. This is all I've got in real red card. I need to buy some more. I love real red. And I've got some basic black, and I've got the punch, and I have got the Hello Ladybug stamp set. I'm going to be featuring that Hello Ladybug stamp set a lot more. I think I used it not long ago, actually. I think I did a card where I used that that sentiment on there. So you take your punch. It's a punch in 2 bits because it's got the main body of our ladybird. So you just put that in the punch like that and punch it out. So there's our naked ladybird. And then with the wings bit, I'm going to put that in my, against my red, real red card in there. Let's give our ladybug, or ladybird as we say in the UK, let's give her some wings. So there are the wings like that. I've seen people do wings in vellum. I think I've seen people make these with as bumblebees. So versatile, so versatile. So got those. Now on here, we've got these spots. Now these are the black spots that go on the ladybird's wings. So I've got some Memento ink, which I'm just going to load that up with ink. Make sure that is, you can see that's equally dispersed on my stamp, and let's stamp that on there like that. Just let that flick off. There we go. So we've got some spots on our wings. That dog's going absolutely mad because there's a dog next door or over the road that's barking, and he's just barking at it. So I'm just folding those wings up, not folding them, and bending them slightly. Sorry, had to pause the video there. No idea where I got to because I had to just go and tell that dog to be quiet. So I've stamped some spots on the wings, and all we're going to do is just glue them on there, and I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on there like that, and then just pop that on just so that we can let these wings just rise up slightly and give it some, just give it some dimension really. So I'm going to put that to one side. I'll use that for another project. I will use these. Now I'm not putting a sentiment on here, but you know, you can if you want. You could put some ribbon here to keep everything together so that if your box is holding a gift that's maybe a little bit heavy, you might then want to secure this. This is really on quite securely, but you might want to secure it down with some ribbon. I'm going to stick those on with some mini stamping dimensionals. Now, if you are a new subscriber to my channel, you will see very, very quickly over time how much I love a mini stamping dimensional. So I'm going to put a few of these on here like that, and we're going to stick that on there in a minute. And I'm going to do the same with this one. Now please let me know in the comments section if you make this, or if you have made something similar. If you have made something similar before, or you try and recreate what I've done here, please come and join us on our crafting community. It's such a friendly group. There's no judgment, there's no we don't allow any negative comments, and we very rarely see them. So it's all about encouraging everybody to craft, and it doesn't have to be paper craft either. It can be anything. You might crochet things, you might do sewing, stuff like that. So let's pop those on there like that. Can't believe my video has been hijacked by a little Dachshund dog. If you pop over to my Facebook page, which is just called Taffy Crafting, there is a picture of him on there. Looks cute, don't be fooled. So there we have our box with this beautiful yellow, decorated with some ladybirds, or ladybugs if you are in the US. I know in the US you like to call them ladybugs. So I hope you like that, and that it inspires you to make something like that. And if you're a card maker, you think, oh, I'm going to make some boxes that go with my cards. Well, there you go. I'll feature this one a little bit more in the coming weeks. But I hope you like this. Thank you so much for joining me. Come and subscribe, give this a like. Any interaction will be really gratefully received. And I will see you all again very, very soon. Bye-bye.